I'm Ethan, I love muzzleloading. Today we're taking a look at and unboxing a Traditions Deer Hunter 50 caliber Flintlock muzzleloader. Full disclosure, Traditions did send this muzzleloader to me at no cost to me. I'll be taking it out onto the range and putting it through some of the tests that we've put other muzzleloaders through in the past, including a 100 shot review, giving you a look at what the first 100 shots can look like with this particular model of Traditions muzzleloader. That'll be coming in the future though. Right now we're going to take a look at what you get in the box if you were to order this or bring this home from the shop. The Traditions Deer Hunter muzzleloader comes with a 24-inch octagonal barrel with a 1 48-inch twist. This particular model comes in a 50 caliber. Okay, pretty simple box for us really. The muzzleloader comes in this plastic bag. We have our safety and introduction manual here. Really important if you're a beginner to go through and read these. The part that most people jump right to is going to be page 48 with the suggested loads and measurements. This is a really easy way to get started. We'll cover all that on the range though. So we've got our muzzleloader, and then we've got a little advertising pamphlet, and that's it. Okay. Get rid of the box here. The first thing that I'm noticing here, that's a bit of a bummer for me, is that we don't have a flint for this, and it's been shipped on half cock, which puts some unnecessary strain on the spring system for the flintlock. So if you're unfamiliar with flintlocks, there's a simple and a little bit complicated spring structure on the inside of the lock that controls the mechanism. Traditionally, I have always been told to leave it uncocked to just keep pressure off those springs. Modern materials are a lot different than 18th century materials, so it ebbs and flows a little bit on whether or not you should do that, but I think it's always safe practice. I'm going to check the box here to see if they sent us a flint. Moving on past the flint, that could have been a packaging mistake. I'm going to recommend what I'm going to do, and I'm going to reach out to Traditions and say, hey, if you're in the same situation and it didn't come with a flint, I'm going to recommend exactly what I'm going to do and reach out to Traditions and see if this is a mistake or if this is how it came. It's not a super big deal for me because I have access to flints and agates here, but if you're a beginner muzzleloader, you'll want to make sure if you're ordering something like this to make sure you add a couple flints or agates to your cart. Moving past that initial impression here, we have a utility grade muzzleloader here designed to go out and hunt. We have a black synthetic stock here, which is, I think, the more affordable option for the deer hunter. We have a rubber butt pad. We've got sling swivels on our ramrod pipe and our butt stock, checkering at the wrist, checkering at the foregrip here with our barrel key. We've got a very simple polymer. No, it's metal. Nice. Very simple metal trigger guard here around our trigger. This is a half stock. Unlike some full stock muzzleloaders that will come out to the muzzle, this is our half stock that gives you a little bit of a lighter muzzleloader, and it's very common in kind of a sporting arm. On the top here, I like to see this. We have a set of Williams fiber optic sights, both at the front and the rear, and these look to be machined metal to me, which is nice. I like seeing a metal sight system on this muzzleloader, even though it's on the more affordable end from Traditions. Here just behind our rear sight, we have all the Traditions marking information, and this is all really handy if you're a beginner because it tells you exactly what the piece is. So we have a Traditions model here so that we know it's from Traditions. We have the model the model name of the deer hunter, and then we have the 50 caliber and the 1 48-inch twist. When it comes to muzzleloading, 1 48-inch twists are really handy because it was developed as a hybrid twist rate, meaning that you can shoot both a modern conical or a sabot or saboted bullet, and you can shoot a round ball in it, and you can get reasonable accuracy with both kinds of projectiles, which is really handy if you're getting a piece like this and you're looking to go hunting. So if you are, depending on where you're at, what state you're in, with this you can hunt with both a modern conical saboted projectile or sabot projectile, or you can hunt with a traditional lead round ball. Really handy, really makes it multi-purpose and very utilitarian. We've got our Flintlock here, which is our ignition system. And then we've got our nice barrel key here. So the nice thing about these barrel keys, if you're new to muzzleloaders, is that you can easily remove your barrel to clean it. So to give you an example of that here, we can remove our ramrod, which is a fiberglass or a plastic ramrod. You can see it's very flexible. Very short ramrod with our short barrel. These are nice and light to use, but over extended periods of time, they can be a little tough on your hands. Traditions has a couple other things that they recommend if you're looking for more of a ramrod. Just using a flathead screwdriver there, we can pop out our barrel key. And then a lot of times, we have to loosen up this screw at the breech. I shoot a lot of traditional muzzleloaders that are kind of a hybrid between utility and art. Something that I really do like about these utility hunting flintlocks, I mean, these are developed for you to go out and hunt a traditional flintlock season. What I like about them, though, is some of the features of later flintlock era sporting arms, like the removable barrel with the barrel key. Makes it super easy to pop this thing off, get it cleaned up, and get it stowed away for the season. And you just saw there, very simply with a flathead screwdriver, I'm able to pull my barrel out, and I can give this a good soaking and a good scrubbing and not worry about the rest of my stock. It's a nice polymer stock. I'm not worried about it getting moist or anything like I might be with wood, but it's still nice to be able to pull this out and get it cleaned up. Another nice feature that I like about these is we've got a removable touch hole liner here, meaning that we can replace this over time if we need to, but also we can remove it to make sure it's cleaned for the next time we go out with this. I mean, it's pretty simple, folks. It's a utility piece. It's in the Traditions affordable price range, and it's basic, it's bare bones, but it's the kind of thing to get the job done. We have some elevation markings here on our rear sight, which is handy. I don't know how many people really use those, though. I don't think you're taking a whole lot of long range shots with this particular model. For me personally, when it comes to hunting, and I don't do a lot of it, put that right up front, 50 yards and inside is where I'm at. You know, if I'm really in tune with the muzzleloader that I've got, I might try to take a 100-yard shot. But when it comes to round ball and things, that's my personal preference. And if you are in the market for something like this, that's really what I would recommend, is that you try to stick within that 50 yards. Then we can press that back in. And really handily, you can field strip this, put it back together, and you're ready to go. This does not feature a removable breech plug or an easily removable breech plug. You could put this in a vise and get a wrench on that tang, and you could probably open it up, but this is designed to keep that breech in place and clean it, soak it, scrub it, and you'll be good to go. Matching the trigger guard, we've got a blue or black finish here on our barrel. It's a nice even finish. It's production level finish. It's not gonna blow your pants off or anything, but it looks nice. It's a nice simple muzzleloader, and it's the kind of thing to go out and get started. Speaking to the ramrod a little bit more, I mentioned that it's a plastic or fiberglass. It's a really flexible material. We have two ends. Both ends appear to be threaded to me. Our bell end here is designed to accommodate kind of the circumference of a round ball. And then we have a narrower end here that's designed to accommodate a jag and a cleaning patch. So it's necked down a little bit here before we get to the tip, and that's so that your cleaning patch can fold over and have room to operate there. So you're not getting too tight in the bore. Simple and bare bones, but you'll want to make sure that if you are looking at something like this, in addition to checking on the flint, you'll want to make sure that you order a set of jags. I recommend a patch jag or a cleaning jag, as some folks might call it, a ball puller in case you dry ball, That's loading a ball without powder. There's no way to get the ball out, so you've got to screw into the ball or use compressed air from the touch hole. I cover that in some other videos if you want to check that out. And a patch worm, in case you drop a patch down the bore. A patch worm will screw into or catch the patching material so that you can pull it out. Something I want to take a look at here real quick is the lock functionality. It's important to make sure that it functions. Now, we don't have the flint in, so we don't necessarily want to snap anything, but we can at least check our trigger weights. So I'm doing this in an uncomfortable position so you can see it on camera, but I'm taking it back to full cock. I'm holding the cock back or the hammer back, and I'm just pulling on the trigger to get an idea of that weight. Okay. Ooh. Okay. I'm pleased with that, to be honest with you. A lot of times the interaction between the trigger and lock is a place where there can be some discretion on quality, but that does not feel heavy at all. It feels very nice. Actually, I'm very surprised that attention to detail was given with the affordable model here. Yeah. At least on this particular one that I was sent, very, very clean break. Very nice. Very pleased. Let's see if I've got some wood around here I can make a quick flint out of. I apologize for my unpreparedness. I did not realize that they didn't ship it with a flint. And I don't mean to harp on that. When it comes to flintlocks, we don't want to actuate the lock without something in the jaws of the hammer. Quick and dirty flintlock anatomy. We have our lock plate, we have our frizzen, spring, we have our pan, and we have our hammer. The hammer holds the flint, which strikes the frizzen, which ignites the powder in the pan. We don't want to let this hammer drop and hit the frizzen or just drop to its stop without a flint or a dummy flint like I fashioned here, because we can damage both the structure of the hammer on the outside as well as the structure on the inside. So now that I have a dummy flint in here, we can transfer the force of the hammer to the frizzen, and the frizzen is designed to be knocked open. Now, we don't have a spark here, but I'll get a flint out and we'll get some spark going. Just like that. See, I hear a lot of complaints about these locks, but on initial impression here, I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with the trigger weight as it came in the box, and its speed here. I mean, that's pretty good if you ask me for this grade and this tier of muzzleloader. Now, it's a lot different just functioning like I've demonstrated here with a dummy flint and functioning out in the field. Other than that, there's really not a whole lot to say. It's a simple presentation, simple packaging. What you see is what I got, and what you see is what you get. So now it's time to take this out to the range. I'm excited to put this through its paces and show you what the first 100 shots looks like with the Traditions Deer Hunter. Once again, I'm Ethan. I love muzzleloading. Thank you so much for watching. I'll have more information about this and up-to-date video progress at ilovemuzzleloading.com. You can go there if you're interested in muzzleloading. You want to learn more about it, don't know where to go. I've got a ton of resources linked and a whole section of the website dedicated to beginners in muzzleloaders. So check it out. Thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you next time.